Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing a reading for Earth, Sun, Moon and Rising. Now you'll have to excuse me, I've got a cold. I've picked up off my two boys, Christopher and Miguel. Christopher being the one that was really sick when he was little, and Miguel being his big brother. He got a cold, so I helped him out with it, and then I got a cold. So excuse my voice, and yeah, I'll sound a bit awkward. So, I haven't lit the candle today because I'm not doing fire. That represents fire, earth, water and air. So what we did, and what I pulled, is the Seven of Spring. Maybe you are in competition with some healthy competition with people that are, how would you say, competitive, or possibly feel like they're in competition with you. It says you have to stand up for yourself. And I think I said this to my mother today, if you don't ask, you don't get. So what I'm basically saying is, if you don't stand up for yourself, no one else will. My grandmother was very argumentative. A Leo, we're in Leo season after all. And I did Leos yesterday. So she was very strong character, very independent, extremely, how would you say, argumentative. When she knew she was right, she would fight tooth and nail. And I'm pretty much the same person. She raised me to be a strong, very, very strong person. If you don't get asked, you don't get. So I got my grandfather's pillow today. He had two. Started with two. Now he's ended up with one. He's in a nursing home, and unfortunately there's a lot of COVID in the nursing home. So he's got a cough, and he almost died about a week and a half ago. Put everyone in a tailspin. He's coughing today. I couldn't see any phlegm, but I just figured if he had a higher pillow, then he wouldn't be lying flat and then get sick with the coughing and then get sick. So I asked for a pillow, and a couple of people in there said that they had pillows gone missing and never returned them, and I think that's wrong, and so I stood up. And I'm not backwards coming forwards. So I got my grandfather a pillow, and also I made him a spag bowl, spaghetti bolognese, and I made sure I put a crap load of garlic in there. Like 4 teaspoons of garlic, plus the garlic that was already in the jar. And olives actually helps to build your immune system, so I was trying to help him out. Put his name on it, told 2 nurses, made sure that they were going to give that to him, because that's what I made for him. And I made a big batch of it. I said, there, Granddad, that'll get you sorted, that'll get you well on your feet. And he was appreciative of it, because, you know, it's something I made. And I like to cook. I made a big batch. I made some for my boys, because they've had colds as well. And I've just got a cold, so it's for them as well as me, as well as Granddad. So yeah, you have to stand up for yourself. There's some arguments around you. And, you know, pretty much that would describe Earth at the moment. Everyone's fighting. You know, every country is fighting each other and they're trying to egg each other on to go to war. If you look at places like the Gaza Strip and Putin being friends with the Chinese and trying to get a rise out of everyone else. They want a war. You can't tell me they don't. So that's what I'm seeing. But what's going to stop that is protection from our angels. The Unity card is the Hierophant. The Hierophant talks about someone around you who's a Taurus, or someone who's in the church, or a church leader. They may be a church leader, so that could be the highest of the highest. So what I could think of would be Queen Elizabeth II, who's recently passed away, or King Charles, who is now head of the church. And then after him comes Prince Harry and Prince William. And because they're married, it would also then fall back on people like Princess Catherine and the Duchess of, I can't even think of it, Sussex. That would be who's, she doesn't want the title anymore, but Meghan Markle. So we've got the support of those people around this who's trying to unite the family, because everyone has seen that everyone's being really sick right now. So they've got the support of the church, and they are the heads of the church. They may volunteer. I know a lot of the royals volunteer and do volunteer work. So does Harry, so does Meghan Markle. So does Catherine and William and Charles and Princess Anne. So it says, do the right thing for the right reason and compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you. A spiritually minded community. What the division was with Prince Harry and Prince William is that Prince Harry had married a visionary, a very forthright, strong, independent woman who had American values and American traditions and wanted to incorporate those into the new evolving monarchy or the new world order. Unfortunately, it was too much too soon, and I think they revoked her because they're used to doing things the traditional way, and that's why that didn't work. But what it's saying is that hopefully in the future, this will be resolved, and Harry will be able to come back into the fold, and they'll ask his advice as well, because America and England are not much different. They're both free nations. They are both independent nations. They're not under how would you call it? They're not under a rulership or a dictatorship. They are free, independent countries like Australia, so we identify with them very closely. They have very similar values and very similar outlooks on life, so they could come to some type of understanding if they just worked at it. This is what I'm getting. But right now they're feuding and they're warring. In the past, you may have had to be put to sleep, as in put down, put to rest. Bed rest from burnout. Four of Swords is no action. Solutions that come from meditation, the need for more sleep or a vacation. You may have recently come out of a period of introspection and healing because you were unwell. This is for earth signs I'm reading for. I know Princess Catherine was recently hospitalised for stomach procedure, and then they found cancer. So she was unable to perform her duties as a volunteer. Now she's coming back in, and she's recently gone and done Wimbledon. So she's coming back to do her work again because she's been missed greatly by the nation. And everyone else has been picking up the slack. I know Princess Anne got very sick recently because she was taking on more than her share of work. She was also doing Catherine's share of work. So this is what it's saying. We all need to pull together, unity, pull together, Hierophant family, tradition, upholding tradition and helping everyone else out so that we can pull together and make it work. We all have differing opinions. We all have opinions, right? So we're all not going to get along, and sometimes we've got arguments, and this is what it's talking about. In the recent past with the Chariot, so maybe there was some type of change of car, or you had a Sagittarian involved, or as an earth sign you were very self-disciplined and dedication, and you're used to being in the spotlight, but sometimes you probably didn't want to be in the spotlight because you were sick. So it made it harder for you to recover because everyone's trying to photograph her, right? Because she's like Diana, Princess Diana. Everyone wants to get a picture of her on her healing journey and make up all these assumptions about her. And she's not used to being in the spotlight because she's a commoner, right? So she had to adjust to that huge focus on her. And I'm guessing that's why she lost so much weight. Like Diana was a healthy size, as was Princess Kate when she got engaged. And then with all the attention and the spotlight and the nervousness and being followed and having bodyguards, I think that's why Princess Kate got so sick, because she's been stressed about having people fully focused on her, bodyguards, etc. And she's used to a normal lifestyle. That's what happened to Diana. Diana had an eating disorder because she couldn't cope with the attention, the extreme media scrutinising her every move. I think that's where she's gotten sick from. I believe it's the same thing that happened to Diana is happening to Princess Catherine, is what happened to Meghan Markle, because she lost a hell of a lot of weight before she got married. Her dress was falling off her from stress. So, you know, it's a big gig, it's a big ask, and he tried to warn her, Harry did. And I don't think she knew what she was taking on. I think she bit off more than she could chew. She was used to being in the spotlight. She thought she could handle it, but I don't think she did. So what I put on the stone of the Chariot is the jasper crystal. Sorry, carnelian. The red carnelian. The red carnelian is a fire-related energy, so I put it on the Chariot, because Chariot represents Sagittarius generally, all fire signs, and maybe in someone's chart they have fire heavily placed in their chart. They're go-getters. Sagittarians love to party, dance, sing. They're extremes. They're in their extremes. They're the life of the party, if that makes sense. Maybe in the past you were the life of the party, and now you're holding court and you're less going out, you're less social, and you're kind of shutting yourself away. Again, this can be because of illness, or you just don't want the attention. The next card I've pulled is the High Priestess. And this card deck is by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. It's called the Fairy Tarot deck. I've had it since 2014. We've got here the High Priestess. This is predominantly, you need to maybe consult with a psychic medium or someone that's got that title if you're an earth sign. Now the High Priestess also talks about someone who's got Taurus in their chart quite strongly. I know I have a Taurus in my chart. I can't remember what placement, but I do have Taurus in my chart. Everyone has a placement depending on what time of the birth they were born, a placement in one house or another. So you can cross-watch. There's no problem with that. This is being told right now that you're coming into contact today. Maybe you come in contact today with a high priestess, a psychic medium, because I'm a psychic medium, and I was talking to my mum today. And trusting your intuition, careful reflection before asking action, insights that come through meditation. So maybe you have to follow your gut from now on. You need to take long walks. You need to self-soothe, meditate, and get your insights and your downloads while you're out walking. I know because I'm the way I'm, because I've had illness, I've had lots of COVID, and I've been sick quite a few times now. Because my kids get sick, then I get sick. It's a continual cycle. So when I get really hot, I go off with the fairies. I literally get downloads. I get insights while I'm walking. So I have to write them down. And when I'm asleep, like, it doesn't switch off. I don't get an off switch. I don't get an off day. It's 24/7. It's like calling on the universe. I'm calling on God's insights. I'm just a vessel, and I'm getting downloads from Him, from my future visions of me, because my future visions are telling me what's going to happen next, so I can then warn my family and the rest of the world. What I do see with the Earth sign, with Kate in particular, is healing. Healing is coming. And the healing is through natural therapies. She's going to have to consult a naturopath, find ways to de-stress that are natural. Medication, I don't advise. I believe natural therapies. Get on some juicing diet. Really look at your vitamin intake, and support systems like magnesium. Magnesium is really good for the nervous system. When you're stressed, you take it and it makes your digestion slow down, which then makes, because your mind's slowed down, your digestion slowed down, so then you're able to eat, because I can't eat when I'm stressed. I'm guessing that's where she's at. So if she could do natural therapies, look into a naturopath, try to get lots of rest, lots of veggies, lots of green teas, flush it out with green tea, and I've used chamomile tea when I've been stressed before. Soy milk, gold. Soy milk for me is good for hormones for women, and I find it calms my nervous system down, and I'm able to eat. When I'm stressed, I drink milk. I used to when I was walking through places I didn't feel safe in. When COVID was there, we were all in lockdown, and I was scared to go outside, because so was everyone else, because we were like cabin fever. So I found soy milk. I put it in everything. I put it through, I drink it in a smoothie. I made a spag bowl with soy milk, and it's really good to calm the nervous system down, so you can actually eat, and it's got B12. It's good for vegans. I would recommend to do that. So I've also got, it's the Aquarian. You're going to come in contact with an Aquarian that's a psychic medium. Well, that would be me. I'm an Aquarian, and I'm a psychic medium, and air is always symbolised by communication. So I pulled my angel feather that I found on the ground, because I figure that our angels are always watching over us. And I'm sorry, my phone's going off. I'll have to answer it later. So whoever that is, I'm sorry, but I'm busy. Yeah, they always call at the wrong time. Okay. Now, I've got a crystal here. This is my crystal. It's clear quartz. Clear quartz is good to purify the system. So, again, lots of cleansing teas and ways to flush out the toxins in your body. This other stone I got, it's called a bloodstone. Now, all these stones are from Rainbow Runner in Hamilton, Beaumont Street, New South Wales. They still have their shop open. They're talking about going completely online. I'm really sad about that, because I used to go in there and have a chat to people. Bloodstone's really good to help with health. And what it does is it helps to clear out. And I just turned this off. I'm so sorry. I'm going to put it on vibrate. There we go. So the bloodstone is meant to heal people. I use this and carry it on my person. It's got a little fleck of red. I think you can see that little fleck of red. Little fleck of red is meant to be blood in blood's name, in Christ's blood. So when you say a prayer, you say, in the blood of Christ, I banish thee, or negative energies. In the blood of Christ, I want to be healed. That's what that's talking about. So there's that. Now, I pulled the other stone for the High Priestess is the labradorite, which is for intuition. Again, you can go and talk to Adrian and his wife that are there, and he will sell you very good quality crystals that he sources all over the world. He also has an online Facebook page, and I always share whatever he's trying to sell. I've got earrings that are labradorite. Labradorite is good for magic. for hearing things that no one else can hear. And honestly, I hear things that no one else can hear when I wear them. It's like maladaptive daydreaming through the daytime. That's what I suffer with. And I'm clairvoyant and I'm clairaudient. So you can paint it however you want. You can either call me a psychic medium or clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, that's what I am. Or you can say I have a medical condition. I choose the spiritual, I choose the latter. So I hear things that aren't there or that have passed, like recent past, and I see things that have already passed, and I see things in the future. And I'm talking 10 to 20 years in the future. Now what I've got here is that you've got a choice, earth signs. The Two of Cups, you've got to choose between a younger star sign and an older person, a younger suitor and an older suitor. And they are two people you have to choose from. It's a choice. It's about falling in love, making a serious commitment to someone. It's a forgiveness and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up, your relationship can be healed. Now what I've also pulled is the rose quartz crystal. The rose quartz is about love. I've given one to my mum and I've got one for me. Some of you may have a heavy Gemini placement in your chart because the Two of Cups is like the two people, and Gemini's got different energies. They're like the scales. They're like Libra. Gemini and Libra and Pisces have two. They have two personalities. That's Gemini. They fluctuate between good and bad, negative and positive, like Pisces. It's just trying to balance those energies out. So you need love. I've got here to make this stronger, this love stronger, by helping to forgive, to heal a rift or a fight in a marriage, is selenite, which will empower that crystal next to it. Now with the crystals, I advise that you put them in salt with water, and you bathe them in moonlight, and the full moon's tomorrow night, bathe them in moonlight, and it cleanses the energy of whatever you've put out, that you've put your negative energies onto those crystals. It'll be revitalized, healed. Then I've got here the Six of Pentacles. What's around you is volunteer work. You're going to do some more volunteer work, and I've said to my mum, because I've had some issues recently, I'm going to go back to volunteering at Lifeline because that's what makes me happy. And what you receive, you give back. So today I thought I gave back to my grandfather. He recently gave us some money for something, I can't remember what it was for. And I said, well, I didn't want the money, so I said, well, I have to do something for you to give back. So I go up there and I made him spaghetti bolognese, just a lot of garlic to kill off his cold. And the week before that I took up some twisties and some nibbles, because they shut off the kitchen at a certain time on the weekends and you get hungry through the night, so he's got something to eat when he's hungry. The next card I pulled is the Empress card, and this is a Taurus around you, someone with the Venus star sign above your head. So the Empress is time to take action, the power of creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. The Empress is all four queens in the deck, in the tarot deck. So we've got the Queen of Cups, which is an emotional energy. We've got the Queen of Earth, which is good about watching their pennies and banking and making sure they keep their money and their assets up to date, and they're all about finances. And then we've got the Queen of Swords, who can be very discerning and logical and can try and figure out who's telling lies and who's not. Very quick to cut people off when they're angry. They're very quick to cut when they need to cut. Air and water is very similar. Air and water operate very similarly. And then we've got the Queen of Fire, who's the spark, the spark of creativity, the people that are the divine. They are the spark, the candle that sparks an interest or sparks an idea or inventions, and they're creative and they're highly attractive. They're very good looking. They attract admirers from afar. They're magnetic. They can inspire people to take on leadership roles. They can put people to war. They can fight for justice. The fire signs are passionate about whatever they do, so it's the Empress card. So who's around you, or sorry, what your hopes and fears are, is you hope to be a parent again to someone. Maybe you've lost contact with someone because you've had an argument in the past and it wasn't resolved, and you may have a water sign that you've lost contact with because of an argument or something that you didn't agree on. You agreed to disagree, so you're trying to patch things up. And I'm getting that, yes, that's going to happen in the future. You will patch things up with this water sign, this Princess of Cups, who is a very gentle, sensitive, kind, inexperienced person who feels everything with her emotions or his emotions, they would probably have a big pile of um, romance novels right beside their bed because that's what they read before they go to bed, or they watch romantic movies because they are the true romantic. The problem with them is that they can hold your attention, they can capture your eye, they can read your poetry and look deep in your eyes, but then they'll flit off somewhere else to someone else because they get bored. They're very flirtatious, so that's the problem, is that they're very charming. They're Prince Charming. If you've got a prince in your life, that's a Prince Charming. But they get bored. And so you may be going to new invitations to social events, and you may want to share how you feel with this compassionate person that's your husband or wife who is very caring. Because I've picked up the shell to represent the water, that the water runs deep, and when we're in a full moon energy, that's when these Cancerians or Scorpions or Pisces are extremely emotional. And what I've picked up as a crystal is the smoky quartz, which is a grounding crystal to help ground you when you're off with fairies, because these people solely rely on their emotions to make decisions, and sometimes these emotions are fleeting. You could go from happy to sad to brooding to angry, and these emotions will change with every phase of the moon. So you're dealing with someone who's very emotional based on what placement, what's happening in the moon cycle. So we're at a full moon. Things are going to be very chaotic. Things are going to maybe result in an argument. It may result in tears where you are upset because of something that someone said that upset you or you upset them. It's a very emotional person that you are dealing with, and you've got to remember those words that you say to them in anger, they will hold on to for eternity, and they won't forgive you. I remember going without talking to my entire family for 4 years, 4 or 5 years, because of something they did or something they said. And we had COVID as well, and we had a family breakdown. There's a lot of things that went along at that time. So we had the family breakdown. We had the AVO because I pushed a parent out the road to get my bag to leave because I didn't want to argue. And then we had COVID, so it prolonged the being able to see each other. I didn't want to see them. I didn't want to hear from them. I didn't want to know about them. I was going to divorce them as a child. I was ready to divorce my parents. And to the point that I looked into it, asked how much it cost, was happy to do it, was happy to change my name, move state. That's where I was at. And I still haven't decided on that one. I haven't completely forgiven them, and I possibly will move to another state, country, or whatever, because I don't want to know anymore. I'm tired of their games. I don't want to deal with games. You either are real with me, 100%, or I'm going to disappear. That's how I operate. I'm either hit the brake or hit the accelerator. I don't have a clutch. I have no grey area. I always wanted to do law, but I figured that because I don't know grey, I can't see grey, I only see black or white, I would make a bad lawyer. You have to be on the grey area. I don't allow for people to upset me continually, on purposely, like a fish, like baiting people so we get an argument. I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that. If you're going to do that, then I don't want to know. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not even going to answer the phone call. That's where I'm at. I can block you as well. So this is the sort of person you're dealing with possibly. He or she is very emotionally driven. You have to watch what you say. You're standing on eggshells, okay? This person has a heart of glass. It can shatter into a million pieces. You have to be very careful about what you say to them. You have to tread lightly. You have to be treading like on cotton wool, because this person will just disappear, just like that, without any rhyme or reason, with no warning, by the way. They will just disappear in the night. They will just pack up, and you'll wake up one day and they won't be around because they've had enough. That's who you're dealing with when it comes to a prince or a princess of summer. But it is saying that in the near future you may deal with someone who is a psychic medium, who is an Aquarian, who is quite a good catch. They're very loving, very loyal, they're very faithful, and they're very truthful. That is very hard to find. The star represents an Aquarian energy, which is the King or Queen of Swords. And the King or Queen of Swords is all about the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. That's where I operate from. Sagittarian energy is very similar. They are also, a lot of Sagittarians are lawyers or in the police force or in a certain role where they have to tell the truth or they have to own up for what they do. They never lie, they never smooth it over, they're extremely blunt and to the point. And actually, I was out in a shopping centre only a couple of days ago. Someone approached me to donate to the Cancer Council, and I knew he was doing a spiel, and I knew he was set up to try and run through his thing and try to break down my barriers and have a laugh about what I was up to that day. And I went, yeah, so what's the catch? How much do we have to pay each month? And how do I go about contributing? And how much is the minimum I can spend? And he's like, man, you're to the point. I went, yep, I don't muck around. And by the way, I am a salesperson. I've worked in makeup sales forever. I know your spiel, and I'm not buying it. So yeah, I don't get duped very easily. I don't get fooled very easily, and I'm looking for the hook. I'm looking for the fish hook because I see through people's crap. That's being air sign. So what I'm going to do is pull out a deck, which will help me solidify what else it's going to tell you. This is the Rebecca Campbell deck, Work Your Light Oracle cards. And so we're going to shuffle. They're really pretty cards. I got given them. It's funny, the people that help pay for domestic violence counselling, I've been through it. I had a very abusive ex-partner, and I did counselling for how to counteract being bullied at work or bullied at home, which I had both with my old job in a big department store called Maya. So yeah, run by Seventh-day Adventists, complete weird people. If you don't agree with their religion, they're going to force it down your throat. But if you talk about yours, oh, so help me God, they will then be so offended, they'll get rid of you. And they'll do a giant witch hunt to get rid of you because they don't like the fact that you know things because you're a psychic medium. And they don't agree with that because, oh, I don't know, you're a witch. Who knows what they think? But I don't care. I don't care what anyone thinks. I will say and do what I like. There's freedom of speech here in Australia. We are a free country. It's a free country, last time I checked. We're not run by China anymore. So we're no longer under a dictatorship. We are run and we're in alignment with America, which is all about independence. So we're going to cut the deck and I'll tell you what we get. The first card I've pulled is Birthing a New Age. Okay, so maybe either you get a new, if you have a child, if you can have children, or you're birthing new creations or dreaming a new world into being. You're showing other people, maybe you're a tarot reader like me, and you are trying to make people aware of what's coming up next, and you're trying to teach people about how to read a tarot deck or how to read the story of the tarot, because it is actually based on religion, would you believe? So it's not actually witchcraft at all. The next card I've got is Transformation. You may be going through a transformation because you have come out of, again, your earth sign, come out of the dark. You've been very unwell recently and you've gone and got some time off to recuperate from burnout and stress, and now you're recuperating. Everyone wants you to come back full time. I don't agree with that. I think burnout is a cause and effect, and it takes time, and your body will tell you when it's ready. Can't throw yourself back into the fray just because you have a small win or you start to feel a little bit better. No, that's not what I recommend. I recommend you take this slowly. You take this very slowly. So we've got Birthing a New Age, and again, these cards are lined up to lead to inquiry, action cards and activation cards and transmission cards. So what I've pulled here from a Birthing a New Age is activation. So the activation is 92. Dreaming a new world into being. Often our path is exactly the one that we don't feel prepared to walk. Walk it anyway. Often what is rising feels far bigger than we could possibly hold. Be a container for it anyway. Often our creations seem to have a wild, uncontrollable consciousness of their own. Birth them anyway. Often what is ours to do is the very thing that most intimidates us. Be courageous and do it anyway. We are birthing a new age. Right now, we're in a transition period on the earth, between ages. In the process of allowing the old cycle to fall away and the new to rise, like driving in the fog and trusting the road will appear ahead when we release old identities and ways that no longer serve us, using our intuition as a compass. You are part of a group of souls who have been incarnating at specific periods of history, preparing for this exact time, dreaming a new world into being. The Magdalene sisters, the daughters of Isis, the essence of priestesses, witches, mystics, healers, seers, artists, midwives, visionaries. Midwives. You might be a midwife. I may be speaking to a midwife. I'm reading for the whole collective here. I'm reading for the entire, people on the earth. It's like 8 billion people. You may be a midwife, a visionary, a psychic medium, guardians of the earth, and storytellers from times past. It is time to give permission and space for what is beckoning within to be born. We are dreaming a new world into being. Transformation. Transformation is from another card soul pack, and transformation comes under, where are we? Starseed, boundaries crumbling. I thought it was, it's also an activation card. Okay, you're being activated. You're going through an activation. You're going through an awakening right now. I went through an awakening in 2018 and 2016. It would have been more 2018. I went through the awakening and saw COVID before it happened on my mother's floor after taking antidepressant meds and mixing them with alcohol. I don't advise that, but that's what happened to me. I saw COVID. I saw Wuhan, and I saw everyone being shot, and I saw the shop that was there, which is a little place where it came out of, where people had been shot there. I saw all of that, but I saw it because it's happened before in the same place. They say lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place. Unfortunately, it did. In the Philippine War, it was like a civil war. I think it was between America and Philippines. There was the same outbreak of the flu. The Spanish flu broke out in the exact same spot, Wuhan in China. It happened again, and they were trying to find a way to test some type of, I don't know, what would you call it? Chemical warfare. Chinese were doing chemical warfare against the world, and they were experimenting with bat blood. Yeah, bats. A bat flu or a bat virus. And that's how we got COVID. And that was because of the Chinese. And I think they did it because they felt threatened by the world, because China has always been seen as this conglomerate. However, America and England and Australia and Paris are all in alliance together. They're a conglomerate. So they felt they needed to have the upper hand. And that's what I saw in my dream. And in my dream, my astral travel, I saw this place, and all these people die, and these kids and these people fighting with baseball bats against the Americans that were invading their home back in the 1800s, I'm guessing back then. And I was yelling, going, Mum, there's people coming through the house. Oh my God, what about the children? What about that this? What about that? That's what I was seeing. And then I saw Black Lives Matters, and I saw that while I was on medication again, and I saw dead people. I walked out my front door and I saw Mr. Terrible, who had untied shoelaces. He used to live across the road from my mum. I was too scared to leave the house. I would not leave the house. I would stay in the house for 6 hours straight and clean the whole house. And then my son had to force me out of the house to go for a walk because I was scared of seeing dead people. That's how intense it was. And I haven't been the same since. I left the building. I can honestly say, I had a near-death experience and I came back different. There is a famous speaker called Ebenezer. I don't know his last name. I can't think of it right now. But Ebenezer is his first name, and he's a neuropsychiatrist. And he had a near-death experience. He came back different, and he talks about how whatever he kind of theorized, like a theoretical scientist, theoretical neuropsychiatrist, which is a new thing, by the way. Neuropsychiatry is a new area that we are going into, because there's one doctor that lives at the building at Calvary where I was when I had near-death experience and then come out different, who studies neuropsychiatry. They can't find anyone. There's not many people on the planet that does neuropsychiatry. It is a study of the brain. It is a study of the brain and intuition and near-death experience explanations. It's a real thing. So it's saying here, transformation is 106. You are being transformed. That's why I've got the star card. This marries up with the star card. So in the near future, in the next 8 weeks, you are going to transform. You are going to come back better and brighter than the star. The star is going to illuminate you. You're going to be in the spotlight yourself because you're going to come back from being in hiding. 106, I'm going to get there. You're going to be on the stage, on the platform, and all eyes are on you, is what I'm getting. Watch for people getting too close to you. Be very careful who you trust with your information. Things are changing at a cellular level, and if you've gone through cancer, you'll know that cancer therapy can really transform everything. Deep healing. Things are changing. You're not who you were a year ago or who you will be, who you soon will be. You are in the between. You are in the 1 foot in heaven and 1 foot on earth. Emerging, half risen, half falling. Keep doing the work. You are transforming. This card to me would be out of the tarot deck. I would look at it like Temperance, where she's got the big triangle on her white robe, and she's got one hand pointing to the sky and one hand pointing to the earth, as above as so below. Meaning she doesn't live in either the 3D or the 5D. She lives in the between, the mist world. She's half here and half not. You'll look back at this time with awe. So much is happening in your inner world and within yourselves. It's time to release old ways of being that have kept you in fight, flight, or freeze mode. To choose a new way where trauma is not the driving force. So it's saying that trauma needs to be avoided at all costs. Old childhood patterns that are rising up to be healed. So you may need to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Like I said, the star represents healing. The mental, the physical, the emotional, all has to be taken place. That's how you heal. If you have to go and talk to a therapist, I suggest you do. Because once you heal the brain, and slow that down, then the digestion will follow. The second brain, which is in your stomach, the vagus nerve, will chill out and not be making you throw up because you're so stressed. And then you'll be able to absorb the food, the nutrients, and then your whole body will transform. Maybe some exercise, light exercise will be good. Saturn and the Black Madonna and the African goddess Oshun influence this card. Saturn represents destruction and transformation. The Black Madonna represents the underground and all that has been cast aside. The Oshun represents the tender love, healing at the deepest of levels. While you are in this phase, don't put yourself under pressure to perform. You may need to review your relationship with your body, perhaps even shifting your diet or exercise. I just said this and I'm not making it up. I just said that. Shifting your diet or exercise regime, or getting energetic healing support like Reiki. You may also need to consider some kind of emotional support like psychology, talk therapy, as issues from your childhood may come up to be healed. You are deeply loved. Hopefully this will reach someone out there, and I'm talking for 8 billion people, right? Hopefully one of them is going to relate to this. But maybe, I know Princess Kate recently gave out medals at the Wimbledon. You need to get back into your tennis, your sport, because when you're stressed, you need to throw yourself into exercise like tennis, running, swimming, whatever help. Well, actually, running and tennis is good for getting out anger, to chill out and make yourself relax your muscles so you can get to a nice natural flow. After you've done the run or the tennis, you would go for a swim, and the swim will chill your mind out because the mind needs stillness, but the body needs activity. So it's a balance between the mind and the body. This is what you're struggling with. That's why swimming is such a good sport. Maybe you're going to do some swimming. Maybe someone I'm talking to is going to go compete in the Olympics in Paris, because I know the Olympics is coming up and swimming is highlighted because Australians were really good at swimming. So I think maybe we're going to do really well at swimming this year in the Olympics. But this is a 4-year plan. You may have to take this on like a 4-year plan, or even a 6-year plan. This might, because I've got a 6 here, 6 of Pentacles, could be a 6-year plan on getting yourself back on track. You may not be quite well until 6 years' time. So this may be mind, body, soul issue. A dark night of the soul, a deep healing process, and you'll come out stronger and better. And maybe you need to call onto some supports. I know sometimes when you have an argument with someone, you don't realise that you've had an argument because you don't see things eye to eye, but it's not because you don't like the person, it's because you have different viewpoints. I think maybe this is where the arguing is coming from, because you have different family background. You grew up differently. If you have a different family dynamics, you're not going to always work, because you're not going to see things from your own point of view, from their point of view, because you looking at it from your parents' point of view. So maybe that's what needs to change, to marry the old traditions with the new traditions and gradually intervene or intermarry them together. So that's what I have for you today. It's a long one, I know, but I felt that someone out there needed to hear all this. So there you go. Thank you for listening to Moonlight Madness. Like or share what I'm putting up.